Radio Okie Talk, Radio Okie Talk, from mesh to mesh.
So guess who's back? It is Team Rabbit Hole edition 90, once again with Cullen Smith of Lifting the Veil.
And what you were kind of talking about, Cullen, reminded me a little of something that I'd seen in one of your presentations. I'm not sure exactly which one. Probably Symbols of Power or something like that. But it's one of these awesome YouTube videos. I can't highly suggest them enough. They're very chock full of data, and they're pretty long, so just get your popcorn and put your thinking caps on, kids. But at some point, there was a guy you had an excerpt of a guy talking about the nature of acoustics in human speech. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, that's John Stewart Reed. He's actually I don't know if he invented the Cymoscope, but he's the main researcher doing the research on the Cymoscope. He's actually one of the ones who did the dolphin language, the dolphin the dolphin communication, and mapped it with the Cymoscope. And basically mapped out the cymatic pattern of which are, again, they're cylindrical. They're like cylindrical, tubular, essentially like in Donnie Darko, where the portal opens up out of his chest and leads him as like essentially a visible timeline of where his future action is going to lead. That's essentially how not just sonic communication propagates through space or through time, but it's also how the actual structure of it, which again everything is like, because spheres obviously can't propagate. I mean they can expand and they can contract, but for in terms of like propagation throughout time and space, it has to be cylindrical, which is exactly how it happens, electrically. That's how Birkeland currents transfer electricity and electric currents throughout the entire universe. And those are obviously those currents that we view as looking like, like a brain map, like a neural network throughout the universe is the same way as, but yeah, so that's John Stewart Reed. He's the guy doing the Cymoscope research. He's really incredible. It's incredible stuff. And you were mentioning,
so I think you understand like the kind of replete poetry of nature and reality, but in some way you're here because it's in Gemini, these 12th house stuff. It's like you're here to bring it down into the logical framework that is grokkable, basically.
Yes, exactly. Is and that's it's not just me. That is the work that we're all here to do. Is we're here, and our purpose is to bring more of the mystical and more of the mystery into reality, to bring
into consciousness, like or like awareness, I guess is the better way to put it.
Yeah,
conscious awareness.
Yeah, to make the intangible tangible, and that is our purpose, and that is what consciousness at large as a whole is doing. I mean, that is to bring more spirit into matter, and that's our purpose, to do that individually as in our physical bodies, is to bring more electricity, more life energy, more chi, more vitality, more love, more beauty into our physical body, to strengthen it, to hone it, to sharpen it, to achieve mastery over that, because our body everything is energy. And so it's the path and the journey is about bringing more energy and coalescing more of that energy into coherent form, which is exactly what through the process of sacred geometry, because that's what sacred geometry is. It's
like the manifestation template, basically.
Yes, it's literally the mathematical structure which is utilized in order to organize more energy into more coherent patterns, which provides more power. And it provides, so this is how, computer science is progressing, is, you can store more memory by things becoming more fractal. And by things becoming more fractal means that it becomes more coherent. And so that's exactly how the human brain functions as well. There are those ridges or lobes in our brains. There are those, I forget exactly what they're called off the top of my head, but the little lobes.
No pun intended.
Yeah, the little ridges in our brains. The more of those that you have, it means the more cognitive capacity that you hold. It means you can memorize more things more quickly and more easily. You can recall things more quickly. It means you can compute complex equations or more complex tasks more rapidly and more quickly. And that's the same way that, our computers are modeled after, is and because that's the same way that the whole universe and all of matter and all of structure forms, is through that sacred geometrical pattern. And this will get so much more powerful in these new films that I started working on last year, in 2018, January last year, about the actual, I've literally mapped the entire sacred geometrical structure of the human torso as well as the human brain, and it's fractal. It's literally mapped to literally every single, and I've gone very deep on it. And although I'm not a mathematician, I'm not I'm not super logical and super analytical. How is complexification? So obviously human beings are one of, if not, we consider ourselves the most complex. And our nervous system is definitely one of, if not the most complex structure on planet Earth. But although we're not the most intelligent, cetaceans are obviously more. Their nervous system is actually more complex than ours is. So this is very interesting. I've got some really cool graphics that I put together. Many graphics, as you guys may have seen, about the human brain. But I don't know if I posted this one anywhere, or if it's still just sitting in my on my hard drive where I don't think I've shared it at all yet. But I've got a graphic that I did about the geometry of the dolphin brain, and it's pretty. I haven't shared that one yet. I was meaning to see.
Are we allowed to talk about this?
I don't think I want to share it yet. I don't think I'm ready just yet.
Damn.
It'll show up in something somewhere.
So I guess I'm going to go ahead and flesh this out. Since I mentioned it and brought it up, I'll go ahead and explain it and flesh it out. This is just a small segment of what is actually an entirely separate film that I'm working on. So this is just a small piece of that. So it's sort of totally out of context of the larger picture. But what we're seeing is this specific cymatic frequency, which is a resonant harmonic frequency, and I'm not sure exactly which frequency this is of the image on the Cymoscope. So if anybody knows exactly what frequency this is, please share that information in the comments down below, or send me a message and let me know exactly what structure this is. But it's significant because it is the exact same harmonic geometry that creates the exact structure of the dolphin brain, of the bottlenose dolphin more specifically. And so this structure, it literally creates a perfect equilateral triangle, which is, it fluxes and it alternates between itself, which is essentially through polarities, which is essentially the epitome of vortex-based mechanics, and also ties in with what I showed in Symbols of Power Part 2 with the Sacred 9 code, as well as creating the Egg of Life sacred geometry, which literally creates the polarity, which creates the structure biology itself. It is literally the exact same resonant sonic geometry that creates a certain, I believe it's the Roma tomato, the certain species of tomato. I believe it's the Roma tomato, the cross section, the same exact sonic geometrical structure. And so this is the same exact structure of the flux capacitor shown in the film Back to the Future by Robert Zemeckis. And so it is literally the association between time travel and consciousness of the brain, which is the time travel, and the sonic geometry, which is associated with the cetaceans, as we covered at the beginning of this video, and again associated with the space whales in Star Wars and the theme of time travel or cosmic consciousness. This is exactly why it showed Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the dolphins leaving Earth and again traveling space travel, and so long and thanks for all the fish. So the theme of the cetaceans and space whales is it's an age-old timeless archetype. It's a timeless theme, and it might not be too far-fetched. from reality.